Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. This is take 2. I am Chief Sophia of the Americana Band of Indians. And this is a quick video rounding out some information on how exactly they got us off our timeline. What we have been fighting is a timeline war, okay? They separated us from our creator by separating us from our timeline. And over time, being so far off the Jubilee cycle, it was basically impossible to get back on it, because as they separated us from our timeline, they took pieces of our timeline out and gave it to other groups of people who also mishandled it. So it's really a worldwide conspiracy to keep us from the proper timeline and to get things in order. So what the creator has done, he's given us out. He helped us figure it out. He brought it all together, so that we would be able to get back on the proper timeline, declare the time, and really move forward without being bothered with what these people are talking about, okay? Because if things have been happening on the timeline, we just did not recognize them. That's really going to be important moving forward as we go back and look at the past and see how what things we were asking for were given to us, but we didn't recognize them because the way we were asking for stuff, it didn't align with the timeline. And so we've been on this weird timeline since 1752, when they took away 10 days. Now, let's take a look at the calendar. We have another thing that we're going to look at too, and I'm going to explain this. So this is the Pisces full moon that's in 1752. So remember, the Lunar New Year starts the day after the Pisces full moon. So this is August 24th. So the Pisces new moon started on August 25th. Now, keep in mind, our galactic moon started on August the 22nd. So August the 25th and this time period, oh, this is so important, I forgot about this. This time period from August the 21st through August the 28th is the time period where the market day and the personal day align. It's the same number. These 17 days from August the 21st through September the 6th are extremely important. They are the days that align us with the cycle. And so if you get off this cycle, it's very, very difficult to get back on it, because then everything spins out of control, right? So what they did was, okay, and this is the full moon, okay? I want you guys to notice that this is basically a cardinal square. Like, this is a not even a mystic rectangle. This is literally a cardinal square. Basically, I would almost say like a war of all against all, because you have the sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury, all in Virgo. You have in Taurus, no, it's Gemini. You have Juno, which is our relationships, okay? And you know what the sun and Venus and Mercury and Mars are. Venus is our relationships and just our feminine energy, our masculine energy. The sun, Mercury, which is the knowledge or the understanding, in a square to Juno, which is also square to the moon, which is our emotions. And the moon is basically conjunct with Sedna, which is our deep emotions, our subconscious, and Uranus, which is literally the reflector of the universe. Okay. And that energy is square. Of all these up here, the one is most square is Ceres. And I did a video on the Olympic spirits. You can see what Ceres is. So you have this huge war of all these energies against all these energies. Now, this should have been the start of a new cycle. But what they did was they messed up the cycle. Now, so now that you've seen the chart, let's go over to the internet. Yes, let's go over to the internet and take a look. So, in 1752, the British Empire was the only year with 355 days because 11 days were dropped, and September 3rd through 13th were skipped when the empire adopted the Gregorian calendar. Now, why is this important? Let's go to, oh, not here. Let me show y'all the calendar. Okay, so this is our galactic moon cycle. Okay, so the days they took out, I'm just going to read from my chart I have on the wall. The days they took out were from September the 3rd to September the 13th. So what happens in those days, on September the 4th, now mind you, they start on September the 4th. 3rd, on September the 4th is the Ides of the galactic moon month. Okay, so remember, you have the galactic moon, the first day of the month. That's where you ask for all the stuff that you need. You make your intentions, whatever. Okay, by the nones, which in this cycle is 7 days in, you are starting to get your answers, right? Things are starting to percolate, stuff is coming up, things are being revealed so that you can solve your problem. By the Ides, the problem is resolved. Also, on the Ides, that's when your payments were due. All of your debts were paid on the Ides. So what did they do? They took away the day we pay our debts. They just took it away. So when the entities are supposed to respond to you and when the debts are supposed to be paid, they remove that day. The next day, also in that cycle, was the Virgo new moon. So it put the moon, the Virgo new moon, way out of cycle. I didn't save that, but I'll go to my thing in a minute. We'll look at it because it's even worse than that. They also took the nativity of the Theotokos from us. So that is the birth of the mother, as in the Theotokos. So by taking away those specific days, they took away the day that we pay our debts. So we could never pay our karma, right? And they took away the day that our mother was born, that we celebrated the birth of our mother. They literally took those 2 days from us. And they took away the Virgo new moon. So there was no Virgo new moon during that time because it ended up being on a different day. There's no Virgo new moon. There was no nativity of the Theotokos, and there was no Ides of the Zolkin month. They took those things away from us. Those 3 things is what we have been trying to recover this whole time. Now let me show y'all. Let's here we go. Let's look for the Virgo new moon. So this is and I didn't think we had a September. Here we go. The Virgo new moon, yeah, right, September the 7th. The Virgo new moon should have been September the 7th, 1752. But it wasn't September the 7th, 1752. It was, let's see, they skipped from the 3rd to the 13th. So at 13, 14, 15, 16. So it would have been September the 16th. That's right, 13, 14, 15, 16, because it was supposed to be the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 17. It would have been September the 17th, which is like the most popular birthday basically on the planet. And September the 17th, so basically they skipped the nativity of the Theotokos, but the exaltation of the cross it's a mutable holiday. So it's on a Sunday. So whatever the next Sunday was in that year would have been the exaltation of the cross. So they put the cross before the birth of the mother. Like, you can't do that. If the mother is not born, then you can't have a cross. There is no cross. Listen to me. There is no cross for Jesus to die on if Jesus is never born. So basically, they unborn Jesus. They unborn Jesus when they did this move. It's very, very strategic. They knew that these days were important to us, and they took them from us. Okay, so now how is this being rectified? That's what I want to talk about. Oh, that was it. How is this being rectified? So not only do we have 3i Atlas coming in here to observe and see what is really going on, because again, they changed the time on the planet. They didn't change the cosmic time. So if again, this is why if you watch my little short video on my chart, this is why you keep time with the zodiac. You don't keep time with their calendar. Okay? You keep the time with the zodiac. And when you sign contracts, important contracts, you keep it tied to the zodiac, because where the sun is in the sky based on the tropical zodiac is going to be correct. Everyone can figure that out. But if you are using, whatever time that's on this planet, their calendars are never going to be correct. That's why we have to do the galactic portal days, where I stitch the time together and synchronize everybody. And then that's why we have to do the mystic column, the 10 days of darkness, the 10 days of light. All of that stuff makes a difference, because how do they know when we need something? If you're saying I need something by next, they understand the nones and the ides. That's how we always operated. So you're saying you need something, but nobody is on the same page. Everybody is speaking 100 different celestial languages, and nobody understands what the other person is saying. So you're asking for stuff not on the first of the month when you're supposed to, and then you're trying to figure out why you didn't get it. They don't operate like that. They operate based off the first of the month, the nones and the ides. If you need something, you start with the first of the month, then the nones, and then the ides. That's how you operate. We've been totally, and again, this Augustinian, Tertullian, Cosmotan collective that has been terrorizing us. This is them. They did this. They changed this calendar, trying to flip the days around so we would be so confused. This is why in the Orthodox Church is a lot of people that use the Julian calendar still. Even if it's messed up, even if it's this, if it's that, it doesn't matter. At least they get their feast days right and their holidays right. So they don't understand that you can actually stitch the time. So that's what we did. We stitched the time. So this right here is when Pluto's going to be out of bounds to the south. Now, Pluto is not a planet by their calculations, but astrologically, it is literally the transformation, right? So for 10 years, this has never happened before and will never happen again. For 10 years, Pluto is going to be going out of bounds, which is kind of like a retrograde in astrological terms, every single year for 10 years. Every single year for 10 years, we will be stitching this time together. And if corrections need to be made, they're going to be made. Somebody was asking, how do we get the enforcement? This is the enforcer. Pluto is the enforcer. Okay? We don't have to do the enforcing. Atlas 3i is here to observe. Pluto is going to be making sure that everything stays in order. These people can never put us back the way that they had us previously. Never. It's never going to go back to that way. They can't do it. They cannot work against Pluto. A whole planet, non-planet, from the trans-Neptunian whatever, they can't control Pluto. They can control Pluto as much as they can control me. Okay? They can't do it. Therefore, you don't have to worry about, oh, it's not going to work out, this and that. No. Just follow the plan, stay on track, follow the calendar, ingratiate that into your family, your bloodline, your community, and move forward knowing that everything is going to work out. There's no possible way that we who are doing the things that are righteous can fail. The losers are failing, okay? We're not the losers. That's like we were never slaves. You can't enslave somebody who doesn't have original sin, which I don't have. That's something they made up over there with their people. We never had original sin here. So y'all want to be members of that? Fine. But that wasn't for our people on this land. You can't you can't assign original sin to somebody. Well, you can if you take away the nativity of the Theotokos. And then that way there's never a cross that gets exalted. And then basically you have no savior you believe in, so that they can come in and put themselves in the position of the savior. Because that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. Word for word, line for line. And so we reject all of that. And we're undoing all of that. It's never again, right? Never, ever again. They're not going to be able to do this. So this was just a quick video. Of course, we're going to be integrating all of this information, trying to figure out how to make it work. But for 10 years, Neptune is going to be going out of bounds, totally uncontrollable, making sure that what we ask for, we get. And it's not for a short amount of time. August the 29th to November 18th, that's a long time. Now, remember, last year we did a fast all the way until what? Pluto. Listen how the creator, I didn't know any of this. When we did our fast all the way until Pluto entered Aquarius for good, that was us syncing our energy to Pluto. And what was Pluto doing while we were syncing our energy? Pluto was in retrograde. It was close to us. Syncing in with us. Saying, wow, these people are not lying. Right? Because everywhere in the universe, they act like we're liars. We're not lying. Look at what these people are doing. And so Pluto, as the enforcer, not Saturn. They love Saturn, right? Saturn's big mama. No. What did I say? I said, we don't want the mother to come enforce this. We need somebody else. So we got Pluto enforcing on them for 10 years. So they took 10 days from us, okay? We're getting 10 years in return. Don't miss it. They took 10 days from us. We're getting 10 years in return. So we'll go into this more, but I needed to stitch this into the ley line so people can understand what's going on. So shalom, peace, and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.